Welcome to the fishing report for our wonderful lakes in Hot Springs, Arkansas. We're going to go over Washita, Degray, Hamilton. Summer is finally here. We've had some weird weather. And speaking of weird weather, I'm here today at Millwood Lake, guys. I have some trips coming up on Millwood for my business. Like I said, I know Washita, Degray, Hamilton are my lakes, but I lived down here for 6 years and I get requests. So like today, my trip on Millwood was not really a guided trip or a fishing deal. It was more of, hey, can you get in my boat, run the lake, kind of show me where I can go and can't go so I don't mess my stuff up. And one thing about Millwood, as it happened, it came up 2 feet in 24 hours due to all the rain and how the stuff's happening outside the state. From Oklahoma, they've had rain, had a little bit of rain here, but nothing like it came up. It's more from up there, and they're blocking the gates for what's happening down there in Louisiana with the weather that they've had. So hopefully later this week, I think they're gonna open it up. I had the looks, and then man, they'll get this water kind of going through, and the fishing here will be fire. Like I said, I got some trips coming up on Millwood, so interested in a Millwood trip, or just kind of send me a message. I kind of do these special occasions. I got one next week. Hopefully this all gets right for my trip next week. Now let's first, guys, if you want more in-depth action instead of just the fishing report, I'm starting to do map breakdowns. These map breakdowns consist of me doing a virtual screen recording of where I've fished in the last 2 to 3 weeks for my on-the-water lessons and my guide trips. So what this is me going through the lake, talking about areas I fished that I had success at or not have success at. These videos can be anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes long. If you're interested and want more information on this, send me a message to my Jimmy Eastling Fishing Facebook page. Right now, the price is $30 for a month, and I'm going to have a limited spots available for the guys that are in Arkansas. If you're from out of the state, it's going to be wide open. For more information, send me a message to my Jimmy Eastling Fishing Facebook. We're going to go over Washita, where I've been at the most, then we're going to go Hamilton, and then Degray, okay? Not many tournaments to talk about on this deal. I'll talk about tournaments as well, but not really tournaments to talk about. We got the All-American that happened at Hamilton. I'll give my thoughts on that. So guys, excuse me, I just caught, but guys, I'll talk about tournaments too. We didn't have many tournaments in the last few weeks, and we won't with the summer kind of period. But we had the All-American in Hamilton. I'll kind of share my thoughts on that as well. But guys, before we go into the Washita, Hamilton, or Degray segment, guys, let's first talk about the partners that is with me. I'll share segments throughout this video. Can't do this without them. Let's first talk about Futrell Marine. Guys, Futrell Marine is the Icon exclusive dealer in the state. This Saturday, June 14th, we will be at Lake Greason, Self Creek, and we're going to have the ride and drive event. We'll have Cobots there, Mastercrafts, but we're going to have Icons, okay? And we're going to have a couple Icons there. If you want to come out, hang out with me, ride in the Icon, go fishing for a little bit, come see us Saturday, Self Creek from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock, okay, guys? About rentsylingcounty.com. So, guys, if you're in the looking, or you might know somebody that's looking to move to the Haskell area, the Benton area, Bryant area, guys, Rensselaer County is a source to find a rent house. I know with me, when I moved to Haskell a few, like I say, mid 2015, 16, I couldn't find a rent house. But now, and that was because of my contacts, I just didn't know. But now at rentsylingcounty.com, you can have an option to go look, and like I said, it might be someone you know, so check them out. Website's very easy to use, very detailed, and like I said, there might not be one even right now for your area at the time, but it could be down the way, guys. So check them out. Thank you, Ferguson's Property, Rensselaer County, for being a part of the Fishing Coach YouTube channel. Washita, let's talk about a little bit about Washita real quick. Had some good trips on Washita. Caught them a variety of ways. One of the cool ways we caught them, let me get my pole real quick, is the big worm. Okay, the big worm bite is starting to happen. Had a pretty cool trip out there, and I also on my YouTube channel, The Fishing Coach, which you might be watching on the channel or on Facebook, I actually had a pretty sweet video from a recent Washita trip. Got some cool forward-facing footage for you guys where I caught on a topwater bait, and we'll kind of go through all that. But that video, I'm going to talk about that. But the big worm bite's starting to happen. You can throw this in brush, but we caught fish with a big worm in timber. Okay, so there'll be trees where I kind of have groups of fish, and we're fishing this in those trees. And it's really neat to see on forward facing how they react to this thing. We did this pre-forward facing, but now with forward facing, man, it helps us be efficient, helps us see that we're in the tree. And at times when you rip that thing up out of the tree, they come up there and eat it. Okay, pretty cool. This one's rigged with an Ozark rig right here. And like I said, I really don't like how this is real far up on it. But also I have rigged in there is this the Texas rig, old monster traditional setup. So that's one thing that's been happening. And at Hamilton as well, kind of throwing Hamilton in there, we got on the big worm bite and brush piles as well as we get to Hamilton. Washita though, topwater bite's been good for the first couple hours. It's not that whole day deal yet. I started seeing some schooling action, but not much. Zara Spook, the Riser have been my two topwaters. The Fluke, just this normal Zoom Fluke, okay, not fish like a minnow, also has had some productive days to where you're just twitch pausing it, twitch pausing it. We're fishing that over timber and over groups of fish as well, and also in the grass. It's crazy because we found some fish in the grass that have been stripers. You guys know it's crazy seeing a score of stripers come out of grass and eat your minnow or fluke, and you're like, oh, I got a big one, and all of a sudden it's fighting and it's a striper, okay? What else at Washita has been happening? I've been fishing the last 2 weeks, been fishing Crystal to the east end of the lake, to the Blakeleys, okay? So I've been fishing the other end, but after it came up and then started, like, as they started pulling it, I started kind of going over in that direction. And I now just remember talking about tournaments, the Mr. Bass was actually out there, okay? Now, before we talk about my thoughts on that Mr. Bass tournament and just kind of what I've heard, guys, let's go ahead. I want to say thank you to Bath Planet of Arkansas for being a part of the Fishing Coach YouTube channel. Guys, if you're interested in a remodel or correcting something in your bathroom or even installing something, it might be for someone that you know, a loved one that you know that's older. It could be a mom or dad that needs some guidance getting in and out of a bathtub. Well, they have the bathrooms that can help you, or like I said, help you or your loved one get in and out. Just those easy access doors that could be accessible to if you have a, disabled or you like injury. Okay, so that's something too about me in the bathroom business. I've learned, hey, I mean, you got to get this stuff kind of done and fixed up. So thank you, Bath Planet. If you are interested, okay, and a remodel or anything with it, mention the Fishing Coach to them, guys, and you'll get probably a help, and I will too, but appreciate it. Okay, guys, now Washita Mr. Bass, 18 pounds. What a bag for that type of day. It was bluebird sunny, kind of post-frontish, a lot of tough fishing from the guys I knew that were out there, but there was a front that kind of came in that morning, and I heard of that bite was fire from my guys. I've heard some good shallow action happening, some good topwater action up near the bushes, which I thought when that lake came up, there's going to be that bite. But you look at the weights, and not everybody caught it. Like I said, it was tough. You see some of the big names for the lake had a tough time. I caught them really good that Saturday before, but looking into Sunday, how my fish ate Saturday, which if I was fishing the tournament, I wouldn't have tried to catch them Saturday. I would have just looked at them and like, oh, I'll come back, right? But, because I don't try to catch them in practice if I'm going to fish tournaments. But, how my fish ate Saturday, they probably wouldn't have ate Sunday. So I can just see how, like, that lake, and cause I heard a variety of ways from people catching them. I keep hearing minnow, but I don't think that was the sole deal. I'm just going to tell you that right now. That's not the sole deal. That's now a decoy, okay? The jighead minnow is a decoy, right? You're going to hear minnow, but it's really a big worm, spook, buzzbait, something else, okay? So after Mr. Bass, leading up this week, we had that big worm action, some topwater action. I did start finding fish in the clear water in 20 to 30 foot. We found a bunch of schools of spotted bass. My largemouth, as I mentioned earlier, kind of disappeared. Now, but guys, before we get into the Hamilton segment, talk about Mr. Bass, I want to say thank you to SAWCO Roofing Company for being a part of the Fishing Coach YouTube channel. Guys, the roof's a very, very valuable piece of your home, okay? It's nothing, you don't really think about it until when it's needed, okay? So lately with all the storms we've had, all the damage, if you are looking for a company to maybe fix a part of your roof or even an inspection, give SAWCO Roofing Company a chance. One thing about them is a blue collar, family owned business like all my businesses, and they're going to be upfront and straightforward in the roofing process. So Hamilton, guys, All-American was there, and I'm not surprised by the weights, okay? Now what I will say is very tough and very, like, it shows how good those guys are. A lot of those, like, if you take out the top three, like, weights for 3 days, it looks like a tough event. But those three kind of skewed it. I'm a mathematics guy. They kind of skewed it, okay? Now, that one guy that won it, I mean, he caught a big one each day. He's really good with the minnow. That's all I'm going to say. And he had some stuff go his way. He landed the fish, didn't lose any. He got the one big bite a day he needed. But the minnow wasn't the only thing. I saw a drop shot was a player. A jig. There was guys fishing brim beds with jigs. One thing I want to say for my people watching, though, my thoughts on it, you had 50 really good anglers out there. And they're not locals, okay? But when you have 100 to 150 locals fishing the place, preparing, they're beating up fish, because once again, people don't know how to practice. And when when guys fish for Mr. Bass and Trader Bill's, since Trader Bill's gave y'all the Friday now to practice, y'all go out there and beat up on fish. And that's one thing that these guys came here, they did a lot of graphing, they did a lot of looking, they fished at a high level and know, hey, I don't need to go catch that 7-pounder out of that brush pile. They're there. And so like when our guys are on these lakes, we beat up on them. We all, once again, all of our anglers are really, really talented around here. Our guys are talented. So we know the holes also. And what I saw in that All-American event is when I was out there that week with my trips was, guys, I could fish whatever I wanted. In the last 3 weeks with the high school event, Trader Bill's going on, I couldn't fish everything because everybody's out there on them. So one thing I saw, the holes weren't getting beat up on, the weights, and it showed how the weights, the lake fished really good. Now, it was still tough. Like I said, you saw guys with 9, 10 pounds, but it fished good. Now, like I said, through the vent, I saw the jig be a player. There were guys catching fry garters, and that's one thing about the live scope, and it's kind of hard for me. I don't like catching fish off beds. I really don't like catching fry garters. I mean, it's cool, I guess, you know, I mean, to see it on scope, like, and I don't know, I just don't like, I don't want to mess the process up, you know, like, I mean, but there are guys catching fish on fry garters. You can catch them on beds or fry however you want. We can be friends and have breakfast, drink a cup of coffee, and have pizza. I don't care. But I don't like doing that. I just don't. So there's fry garden action going on. There's a variety of ways, but those guys are good, and hats off to them. My trip out there this week, like I said, during the week of Mr. Bass, during the week of the All-American, smoked them out there. It was a blast. But this week, my trip out there was pretty tough. We caught them on a worm and brush, Nico rig and brush. I have the Nico rig set up over there. I'm using the little red bug finesse worm, 1/16 ounce weight, but it was tough. But then the minnow bite did start happening later. We got on fish that were on bait, okay? So just pretty interesting there, just how it all can kind of, you know, like the first couple hours were, and it was a half-day trip. That last 30 minutes, that minnow bite came alive. So we caught those fish in the back half of a creek. They were on bait, not giant schools, but just 3-4 fish just chewing up on bait. So good job to them there. Now, guys, before we get into the Degray segment, I want to say thank you to BJ Stump Removal for being a part of the Fishing Coach YouTube channel. Guys, in the stump removing process, if you have a tree that's fallen with the storms and you have that stump there, if that stump is near your house foundation or near your driveway or shop, that stump, those roots can keep going and it can affect your concrete, your foundation. So guys, one thing you need to do is go after somebody that knows what they're doing in the stump grinding process. BJ with BJ Stump Removal is the guy, located in Monticello, Arkansas, does a lot of business in South Arkansas, but will come up to the hot springs as well. Thank you for BJ Stump Removal for being a part of the Fishing Coach YouTube channel. Also, guys, I want to say thank you to Generation 3 Tire and Auto. Gen 3 Tire and Auto, located on Military Road there in Benton, Arkansas, will serve you for all your tire and your vehicle needs. Check their prices out. It will compare with anybody down the strip. And as it's called Gen 3, for a generation third in the family business. The owner, Brady Butler, has his dad there, Jerry, and then the grandpa. They've all owned shops. They've all been mechanics, and that's who I trust on working with my vehicle or give me the tires. Like, hey, get these tires. These tires are just as good as those. So thank you for Gen 3 Tire and Auto. Degray. Degray actually had the Angler Management Bass Club out there. I actually talked to somebody in it, and they caught them on topwaters pretty well. The topwater action is good on your main lake and secondary points. Grass is a factor. 14 pounds won the tournament. I think third might have been 11, or fifth place might have been 11. 11 pounds. So the big fish are just hard to catch right now. And I didn't talk about that earlier. I should have. With the summer, there's a night bite, okay? There's a night bite. In our clear lakes, they eat good at night. I really think they do. I like the winter a lot because I think it's so cold at night that they don't eat as much. They're more lethargic. And in the summer, these fish can eat at night. Why they eat at night? Well, it's cooler. They can be more... They can be hiding, I think, more, and it's just, it's like deer, deer move, fish move, and that's just kind of my thoughts with it. I don't fish not as much as I used to. Actually, I don't fish it at all anymore due to me having kids, and that's just part of my life. I mean, I used to love the night action. So talking about the gray daytime, it's gonna be hard to catch a big fish right now, but leading up into the night, there are giants in the lake, and if you want to have a chance to catch a double digit, it's going to be from right now through the summer, okay? How I would do that is I'd be fishing those main lake humps, main lake points with a big blade spinnerbait. I'm talking a Colorado single blade. I love the spinnerbait bite, but I know some people might want to throw a big worm, and for me, that big worm bite would happen more July on. I'm not saying it can't happen now, but I love a spinnerbait bite. I'm addicted to it. And if I'm going to fish at night, I'm just going to throw a spinnerbait. I have a lot of confidence in it. So Degray, though, back during the day, I'd be looking for brush piles in that mid-lake area, main lake secondary points, the Arley Moore area, throwing the big worm, throwing your Nico rigs as well. And then early in the morning, I'll be looking for the top water action. I'll be looking for those schools. But I'm not going to also, and it kind of goes all the lakes, but I'm not going to go just casting randomly. I'm gonna use my forward-facing sonar. I'm gonna be looking to see where these schools are and then making a cast, okay? Now that's for the fish that are high in the water column. As the day goes on, they can be on the bottom, they can be in cover, so I'm gonna use my forward-facing to fish the cover, see if the fish are in there, and if they're not, move on to the next one. Okay, thank you guys for watching the fishing report. We'll see you back in another 2 weeks.